and right, and it's a little blurry this morning. I'm like, I can't quite get it to cooperate. Yeah. All right, Van, are we live? We're as live as we're going to be. Okay. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm so glad that everyone out there is joining us. Of course, I'm always thankful for my group here that we've got. This morning's show is not going to take a very long time. The topic of today's show is make your pick. And so we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we're all working on in the office and different things that we're doing. And then we'll talk about what options you have when it comes to making different choices and making your pick. So we'll start out with 60 seconds of gratitude. Cam, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful.
All right.
I was thankful I got to see this past weekend my cousin play baseball. I haven't seen him in probably like 10, 12 years.
Okay.
He came and played at Oakland.
I got you. Good to see some family play ball. Josh, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful that my girlfriend cooked dinner last night.
All right.
I didn't have to do shit.
All right. Well, there you go. Got dinner cooked for you. Emily, what are you thankful for?
I think I'm thankful for better health this weekend. I had like shortness of breath out of nowhere.
Oh, goodness.
Stomach issues. And
Yeah.
It was killing me.
Now you feeling better?
I feel better this week.
Oh, good. Good. Travis?
The new little puppy we got.
New little puppy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What's the little puppy's name? Cash. All right. There you go. Jacob, what are you thankful for?
My mom took her first flight and came back safely, so I'm
Where'd she fly to?
to Vegas.
All right. Okay. Very good. First flight to Vegas and back. Yeah. Yeah.
And they had that, not too off topic, but that shooting too while she was there.
Oh, I didn't hit.
Yeah, but we'll,
Yeah, well, glad she's here. Yeah. Yeah, it's happening way too often. When it's not remarkable in that way, that means it's happening way too often. But a couple of things we were talking about this morning, just some market things that were sort of interesting. Josh, you've been in real estate now for about 3 years, and you were bringing up the fact that when you entered the business, the average sales price was about $250, $270, somewhere in there, depending on where you want to market. But now that number as of this morning is how much? 470. 470. So it has gone up. I don't know what that increase amount is. Yeah, but it's a bunch, right? It's almost twice. And so that's sort of a remarkable thing. And then Cam was looking at some rental statistics, and so we're starting to see now where the rents are beginning to increase because that just makes sense, right? If the asset price increases, then the rent increases. And so we'll see those things sort of follow along. Another interesting topic of conversation this morning was the question was brought up. If you had what was the question?
If you had $3,000.
If you had $3,000 and you could go into one store for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. That's what it was. If you had $3,000, you could go into one store for 15 minutes. What would you do?
What store would you go to?
What store would you go to?
You had to spend the $3,000 in 15 minutes. You could choose any store you want.
I had to spend it in 15. I was stumped. I had nothing. What did you pick, Cam?
I said something, but you got to choose one store. So
Did you say you were going to order from Amazon so you
Yeah,
could spend more
I'm
time in the store?
no, I'd go to I don't know a specific store, but I would spend that $3,000 on wardrobe. Looking back at it.
Yeah, gotcha.
Determined store.
Camera equipment, Best Buy trip, that kind of stuff. Emily, favorite store you could spend $3,000 in 15 minutes? I was stumped. I could think of anything.
Definitely a suit.
Definitely a suit.
Yeah, now that Cam said wardrobe, I think that's probably the best one, wardrobe.
Yeah.
Store for a wardrobe.
Yeah, I got you.
Or Joseph A. Banks or something.
Yeah,
You know?
gotcha. Well, so another interesting. That's a raw. Yeah, and that's an interesting one because I think it really just depends on what you need at that time, right, or what you think that you may need, and it just seems like it would always change. If you were to ask somebody that question now, it would be one answer, but you may ask them next week, it'd be a whole different answer. If cash is out of dog food and you don't have any money and you'd be like, I need to go to Kroger. That's where I spend the 15 minutes. But I think that's sort of interesting. A couple of other news and notes just in the real estate world that people would want to be brought up to speed on that I thought was really interesting. They just raised the income limits. I was meaning to tell you guys this. They just raised the income limits for rural development loans in Rutherford County. Now, I don't know how many of you remember. I don't know if anybody here remembers. No, so it was 91,900. And as a matter of fact, we had a loan or a borrower earlier in the year that started out as a pre-approval eligible for rural development, and then it took a while to find a property and so on and so forth. And then his job increased, his income increased, and by the time he got ready to write a contract, we did a verification of employment. He was no longer qualified under their income limit. Well, I need to call him back because he may be now under that income limit because it was an increase of about 18%. That's a lot.
How much, do you know how much money that is?
Yeah, so it was 91.9. Now, if you're a family of 1 to 4, the income limit is 108,500.
$16,000, 500 extra.
So yeah, so then you start thinking about how much extra payment that is. You know, that's $1,000 a month in income, a little bit over, right? If you take that number, Travis, divide by 12, and then times it by 45%, that'll tell you how much monthly income that makes available for housing expense.
7,443.
Divide by 12.
Divide that by 12.
Yeah.
620.
So that just let that person finance $600 more a month on a rural development property under the income limits. So then I can do the math pretty quick. If you go back, and I can get my calculator, but if you go back, you'll see that that would probably let them finance about $80,000 more dollars. So they just went from 280 to 380, and if you know the outlying areas in the county, that went from very few choices, if any, to a handful, some, right? So I think the interesting thing about all of these conversations and all of these different questions and the changes in income and all those things, the thing about it to me that is really important is it points out the fact that so many things change. Everything changes. Everything constantly changes. And that's where the topic for today's show comes in. And the topic is make your pick. Okay? And I want you to think about the idea of, are you picking the things that are going to change all the time as the things that are the most important to you? Or are you picking the things that don't change and working on those things? Okay? So for the last little 5 minutes of the show, we're going to kind of go through that idea a little bit. And I want you to think about if there are things that frustrate you. If you get frustrated, I would submit to you that if you ever get frustrated?
All the time.
All the time? You ever get frustrated? You frustrated? Okay, so why are you frustrated? Jacob, when you get frustrated, why are you frustrated?
Because my current situation, but I control my current situation.
Okay, so at least you're almost there. You realize that when you get frustrated, it's your current situation. So what is it about that current situation that frustrates you?
I think it frustrates me that I know that I can get out of it, but I'm not doing the things that are going to propel me.
You ever get frustrated?
Yeah.
All right, what is it about that situation that frustrates you?
Not having control of it.
You ever get frustrated?
Yeah, I get frustrated. Really, I just get frustrated at myself because I think of what I could have done better, what else could have been done.
Okay, you get frustrated. You ever get frustrated, Cameron?
All the time.
What is it about that situation that frustrates you?
Because I feel like I should have known, or I get frustrated because I want to be at a better, more of an understanding, more knowledge that comes with it.
Okay, so if you notice, I asked each one of you, what is it about that situation that frustrates you? Right? You get frustrated. What do you get frustrated about? What is it about that situation that frustrates you?
Somebody treats me like shit.
Well, that is frustrating, I would imagine. But the main point that you need to understand is that the one common thing that you all express is the frustration, but it's different for every one of you in every situation. The only thing that's constant is going to be the fact that you are not accepting the current situation. Period. Anytime you are frustrated, it is 100% because you are choosing to be frustrated, because you're not accepting the present moment. Think about that. You can insert any of the things that frustrate any of you. You could give them to me. We could put them in a bucket, and we could pick our own out of the bucket, and it would still be the same thing. We're not accepting the present moment. If you're not accepting the present moment, then you can't act in the present moment. So whatever it is that's got you frustrated is you're putting more importance on that than the present moment. So when you choose to be frustrated, just know that it's not a problem that it happened to you. It's a problem, or it's a choice, what you then do about it. Make your pick. Make your pick. Are you going to choose to be frustrated? Are you going to choose to let things that are always changing be the things that drive you? Are you going to choose to say, I'm no longer able to participate in the present moment because I've let this frustration completely take me out of my ability to do something different? Make your pick. Make your pick. You get to pick. And you can either say, you know what? I'm frustrated right now because this happened and it got me frustrated. I see that happening. But I'm going to choose to understand that in this present moment, I have to accept the fact that I'm frustrated. Why am I frustrated? I'm frustrated because that is not the way I want it to be. Well, I can either accept the way it is and do something different, or I can sit here and still continue to be frustrated. Right. And who's frustrated? Not the thing, me. It gets me fired up. It gets me fired up. You get to pick. Make your choice. Make it now. Van, take me out of here.